counsel here yet, so let me call, the attorney's not here yet. Let me, but yeah, just keep us rolling. I think I will call Jerry and see how close he is, because I think he's supposed to be here. We didn't hear otherwise, so. Oh, there he is. Almost right on time. Not for decision making. Only, no, you can for discussion, but just not for action.
Okay, I think we could, we need to help with that to the general whole business, because we never do know, what happens in terms of the decisions that we make.
Yeah, we can do that. We can, if someone wants to, now I'll have to kind of do it on the fly here, but I'll be able to go back and look at our records and see what we had on that last one. Oh, yeah, I've got, let's see, I'll get a copy of the minutes from her. And, yeah, if you want to just, if someone wants to make a motion to amend.
Well, we can't do it yet.
Well, it's gonna start a meeting.
But I think it will really come out Well, we did something last week, I don't know what was on there. We did have an election on. All of it's good, right? Are you gonna say that? So all parties here, Bethany?
Yes.
I'd like to call to order the Berea Codes Enforcement Board Special Call Session for Tuesday, August the 27th. The first item on the agenda is the recognition of visitors. And I would say to you, we try to make sure if there's items on the agenda.
We want to speak to, at that time, we will recognize you, okay? And, next, we want to before we approve the minutes, can we amend the agenda so we can add a section for old business so that Amanda can give us an update on the decisions that we made last time? That's okay, Ms. Gilbert? Cause we did it last meeting, so I wanna make sure it's okay this time. So,
I'd like to make a motion that we amend the minutes and.
not amendments, agenda.
The agenda to include the old business, after the approval of the minutes and have it as 3B.
I'll second that.
Okay. So it's been motioned and second to amend the agenda that we added a section for old business, so, Mrs. Haney can give us an update on our actions from our previous meeting. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for January 23rd, 2024. You should have a paper copy in front of you, and plus they were also emailed to you. So what's your pleasure in terms of the minutes?
I'll so move, but if someone wants more time.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been motioned and second to approve the minutes. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes, so the minutes have been approved. Old business, this is the amended agenda. Amanda, you want to tell us about our previous actions and what happened since?
I sure will. The first item on our agenda was 424 Richmond Road North. That was for rubbish and vehicles. Soon after we issued the orders, which again was for the removal of one vehicle that was abandoned, inoperable. And, then there was trash and debris on the property. The property owner's daughter reached out to our office and said, we really are going to take care of this. The parents, cause we really, at the hearing, weren't sure of the status. In fact, I think that someone even questioned the health of those, property owners, and so that turned out to be the case. So we worked with, our codes office worked with the, property owner's daughter to get those things removed. So they ended up taking care of that one. 212 Richmond Road North, it is, better known as that snow white laundry building.
Okay.
So the owner did not comply within the given time period. So the order had been issued that if the owner did not comply, now what we had taken him for was, 2 sections of roof that were pretty dilapidated and falling in. And so the city hired a contractor, to have those portions of the roof structures removed. And we have since placed a lien on the property, for that cost incurred. The next one was 830 West Jefferson Street. Property maintenance, rubbish, grass, and weeds. They actually have cleaned up the exterior of the property. Mr. Lopez pulled a building permit, worked with, I'm so sorry. I've turned on everyone else's microphones, but not mine. Mr. Lopez worked with our office to, get building permits put in place, but unfortunately, that project has been very slow. So the outside of it is cleaned up, at least we're not getting complaints from the neighbors, but the project, in terms of rehabbing the house, has been very slow going. 201 Ball Street, they did in fact move that mobile home, and, within the time frame. So that one, no, enforcement actions were needed on the city's behalf. And 564 West Jefferson Street, and this is a little off the cuff, I believe to be the same case, that the property owners did in fact, clean that up.
Okay. Good.
I know from the city's perspective, we did not have any enforcement actions or liens placed against that property. Okay.
Any
And,
questions?
and I will make sure that we will add that to future agendas, and I'll try to be a little more prepared for
No
that.
problem. You did well. Any questions?
None.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think that needs a motion, right? Does it need a motion? No, okay. All right, the next item is our new business, and the first one is 120 Spring Circle Drive, Blue Jay Enterprises, vehicle, trash, and rubbish. We need to have you sworn in. So you're the only representative. Mr. Gilbert? Swear in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth?
I do. Thank you. So I have an aerial map shown, of 120 Spring Circle Drive. It is this lot owned by Blue Jay Enterprises. This picture was actually taken on February 21st of 2023. We started receiving complaints about this property just a few months after that. So as it appears, we believe that Blue Jay Enterprises was using this as maybe a staging area for a construction project. The issue is, a couple issues were that it ended up getting really overgrown and so throughout the summer, just not maintained very well, and a lot of rubbish on the property. So I'm gonna switch and just show you some pictures of the property. So they have, again, just what I believe construction materials, so you can see a little garbage or dumpster that's been there several months. There is a school bus parked on the property. Lots of pallets, forms, just general, again, materials, I guess you will. It does have a fence, so weren't able to get a lot of good pictures, but you can see again, just some construction materials. There are a few good things on the property, you know, I think he's storing some equipment there. But then you can also see just a lot of boards, and what's really difficult to see, again, you can better see it from that aerial, is a lot of rubbish in this back corner. Let's see if here you go. So here's some pictures of just things strewn about on the lot. And so we, after the complaint started in May of this year, we found at that time they had an accessory structure, just a little storage building on the lot, that was not permitted, and they had this unregistered school bus that was parked on the grass. They had several items stored on the property, building material. This particular zone is B1, which does not allow for outdoor storage. And again, all, you know, our impression was that it very much seemed to be used as like an outdoor storage yard. So we mailed notice to the owner of record and posted it to that fence on May the 3rd. We also called the owner. I personally called the owner. His name is Blake Jones at Blue Jay Enterprises to discuss in detail, because I thought, you know, telling him in a letter that the accessory structure is not allowed there is not always easy to understand in a letter, so I wanted to reach out personally. So we asked, he asked for, I gave him, at that point I gave him until June the 14th, so 6 weeks to comply. He then asked for another extension, to which I was in contact with him a few times during this process, and he would email me and say, we got this done or that done. And it, you know, the last 2 weeks, I sent him an email that said, by July 16th, that will be our final reinspection, and by that time, we expect that all these items are completed. Again, he did accomplish some of those things. The accessory structure was removed, the grass had been cut a time or two. But again, school bus still there, building materials still there, dumpster still there, and now grass not being cut. So we emailed Mr. Jones on 7/5 that a citation would be issued for non-compliance after July 15th with a fine for $100 a day. That citation was issued and mailed to his address of record. As of today, that fine equates to $4,100. So the codes office is requesting cleanup of the lot, removal of the rubbish, removal of the school bus, which would be impounded, and or the other option would be to relocate it to at least a gravel staging area and off the grass as an option, and then the cost of which would be a lien placed on the property. So basically asking that we clean it up and mow it, remove the rubbish. We would leave, you know, again, there's equipment that is probably valuable. We would leave that, but clean up what appears to be rubbish from the property and place a lien on the property.
And the fine, and what did you say, the total fine is it up to this point?
$4,100. And of course, that would be the board's discretion as to,
And you're charging $100 a day?
mm-hmm,
And he is aware of that?
mm-hmm.
Is this a local business?
It is not, their address is out of Lexington.
Okay. Any questions for anyone?
If you impound the bus, is it in an enclosed area that we might have to cut a chain to get, or anything of that nature?
So in the past, when we have impounded vehicles, now I don't know about a school bus, this will be my first rodeo on impounding a school bus. But on other vehicles, they are taken to like a registered impound lot.
Okay. I mean,
And we would hire a professional towing company to do
Okay.
that.
okay,
Now, since the property is enclosed, the fence, right?
It is.
Would you,
Oh, you're asking about where it's located.
where it's located, if we have to,
Yeah, there
a
is
chain
a,
or-
yeah, there is a fence there that we could, there's a wooden fence that I believe we could remove a portion of and install back to get that school bus out of there. I didn't understand your question, yeah.
we have that authority.
We do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
The order gives us the authority to have access to the property.
So
I'm good.
removing portions of the fence there will not be any problem or issue legally?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And again, we would put that back up. We would remove it only to be able to serve the purpose that we need to be on the property for, and then put that fence back up.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
The next item is, which one do you want to speak to? Is that? The next one is, the Central Park subdivision. Is that the one? Or you want to, we only have two on the agenda, so,
Are you here for Spring Circle Drive, this one we just spoke about, or Central Park mowing? Okay, so she's the second agenda.
the second, okay.
Okay,
And after Mrs. Haney speaks, I will turn to you and allow you to be sworn in and you can speak. Okay. All right, we ready for the next one? Central Park subdivision, and there are quite a few parcels.
let me get my map. Okay, so Central Park subdivision, I listed these as parcel numbers because there are lots of different tracks that encompass these, this development. So one of the tracks is this one that's labeled as 170. Some of these most of these parcel numbers though are these lots that already exist, and they are along Central Park Avenue, Bronx Place, just the vacant lots that you see in this area. And just for some context, Brooklyn Boulevard would be just to the west, and then Richmond Road over here to the east. So this is Shannon Johnson Elementary School. So we sent notice, well, I will start by saying that we have received lots of complaints about mowing now that, you know, these houses, a lot of these houses have been recently developed within the last couple years. So, you know, normally that usually generates some attention to vacant land around it. And so we sent notice on July 3rd. We gave 30 days to have the mowing completed. Our ordinance says 5 days, but we did not feel like that was ample time to get all that mowing done. So we went ahead and issued the letter for 30 days. On August 2nd, our codes officers were out there and the parcels were not mowed. So at that time, we issued a citation. It has been standard practice that if it were just one lot, the city would mow that lot and we would put it against the tax bill. But because there are multiple lots and just a larger tract of land, because I knew that bill would be kind of high, I just wanted to give the owners the option of appearing before this board as well, and the city not just, mowing it for them and billing them for it. I just didn't think that was good practice when you have, this amount of property here. So we issued the citation on August 2nd. As of today, that fine would be $2,300. Yesterday, we had a codes officer go by just to check everything, and both items on this agenda, and it was noted that the smaller parcels, so the vacant lots along here, have been now mowed. So now we are just here for this larger tract of land. Our city ordinance would require that to be mowed 2 times a year. This year, there's no evidence that it has been mowed. Now, we know it was mowed once last year. So at this time, our recommendation would be that the city hires a contractor to mow, and a lien be placed on the property for that amount.
And that is, it's just one tract,
One tract,
and that is 170?
and I'll give you the parcel number,
Okay,
because that's what I used for all the rest of them.
okay.
So it's the 0060. Oh, it's the first one. It's the first one. So 0060
Okay.
00000046.
Okay.
Okay.
And so for this, you're just asking, to have the property mowed, and, the city would do it and put it on the tax, a lien?
Place a lien.
Questions? I see some looks. Mr. Vacy, I see him.
How big a plot is it, Amanda? I mean, you know the acreage or anything?
Yeah, we can find out. And again, we recognize that this, by our city ordinance, does not have to be maintained like a yard.
But it's supposed to be cut at least twice a year.
But it is supposed to, by city ordinance, be cut twice a year, yes. So this is certainly not survey grade, but this will give us an idea.
Is this held up in a state? Because Doug Oliver is deceased.
Well, and that's what, is really another thing that so the PVA tax record, which is who we are, legally supposed to send all notices to, goes to, Roger and Doug Oliver at 301, I don't have that in front of me, 301 Chestnut Street.
That's the Oliver office.
So the Oliver offices, yes. So that's what the tax record says. And it is my understanding both those gentlemen are deceased. So it's about 14 and a half acres.
Other questions?
Because the largeness of the property and all the property that's involved, I think it's a show of leniency on the city's part to only charge them $100 a day for a large parcel like that.
Yeah, I think technically a $100 a day fine could have been incurred for each parcel.
Yes, ma'am.
So right now, I want to make sure, it's not $100 fine right now, right?
Well, I think what Mr. Schultz was saying is that these are legal separate lots. So technically, there could have been a fine or a citation issued for each lot.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? Which would have been, I think there are 19 altogether. So instead of $100 a day, that would have been a really hefty fine at $1,900 a day.
So, of the parcels, total parcels, 19, then you said 2 of them, how many have been taken care of?
All but that, what's in yellow now, which is one parcel by itself.
And
So
that's
it-
14 acres.
So it's a one parcel of 14 acres, correct?
Okay. Questions from the floor? Ma'am, did you want to speak on this? Or would you step up, please, and introduce yourself? And first of all, allow Mr. Gilbert to swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may go ahead. Introduce yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
No, put it down.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm new at this. Hi, my name's Carla Jennings Bates. I worked for Oliver Properties for the last 6 years. Roger was my uncle, and I believe you all are aware that the executor of Rogers Estate has recently passed as well. We're in transition right now. We are working with what we're able to work with. I can tell you on this particular situation, I did get something in the 1st of August. I did get that, and there was the attached July 3rd letter. So I did see that, but that was after the August 2nd deadline. We do have a fella that he handles most of the mowing that we have for the different properties. I did contact him. It was the 8th, the morning of the 8th. It's in a text. But I contacted him to see if he'd be able to do that. He actually did the bush hogging over there for all of Central Park area in 2021. I don't know if our farm manager handled it in 22, and I do understand that Mr. Cope they were in a deal last year, so he was handling that. That is no longer the case. We found out. So it's up to me now. I did find a fella, because Mr. Combs, who said he could contact you, and get a few more days, but I was like, we're already past. I don't think it counts. So, I did contact 2 other people that just had signs, on the side of the road on my way to Garrett County every day that said bush hogging, and they don't do bush hogging in town. I don't know what the difference is, other than when I did find somebody to do this, and I watched as we tried to get those front lots. We went down to that culvert area, and it was basically backwards the whole time. I'm not a very quick bush hogger, as it turns out. I did learn a few things, and you don't just barrel straight ahead when you don't know what's out there, and everything out there is as tall as me or taller, which is right at 5 foot, so it's high enough. But anyways, we're trying to get the rest of it done, hopefully this weekend. That's the big plan, Saturday. This person doesn't farm full-time, but they're kind enough to come down whenever they have weekends available. And that's been 2 so far, and planning on this weekend. So we should have, I believe that front portion, it's a lot flatter than that back section, because it does go down to that culvert. But that's what we're gonna be doing this weekend. All I can do is say, thank you for letting us do it, but giving us a heads up. I did get the letter saying we were having this, so thank you for having me. I appreciate the grace you can give us. It's just, we're in a transition right now with the estates, with everything else. But if you could extend just at least through this weekend, we can at least get that taken care of, and whatever fines are incurred, we just have to incur. I do understand.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Normally, what, you can stay. Yes. Normally, the process is that, after, in a few minutes, we're going to go into executive session, okay? And we're going to make decisions about how we should proceed. And we will reach a decision, and then we have to, Mr. Gilbert will be there, and we will communicate it with Mr. Gilbert. And then he's gonna go back and write up the orders. And then eventually we're gonna sign them. What I'm saying to you is that there's time. And that the final decision is really left up to the five of us. So we could write into the orders that we could give you more time to do this and give you a new deadline. So I'm saying that, I hope I'm being clear that you have more time than you think. If that helps. Am I right in making that statement?
Yeah, and I think to just further explain, communication is the biggest thing that we want from our office, is to, we certainly want to work with people. We certainly understand extenuating circumstances arise. And, but this hearing is your opportunity to make that request for 30 days, 60 days, whatever you feel. But it sounds like you do have the plan in action.
Yes.
And you probably would not receive that order for maybe 3 weeks. Is usually a good time frame to just, like, you wouldn't even get the actual decision before then. So if the work can be done within that time period, and I think more so from the codes office perspective, it's just recognizing that we do have a lot of houses out there, and to get it on a regular maintenance schedule is also an appropriate thing.
I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else have any questions? All right, thank you. You have any questions?
I have no idea. Maybe tonight I'll have a question when everybody's gone.
All right, thank you.
And I will also just comment that if that is not the proper notification, I would encourage you to update that with our office and also the PVA office, because the PVA tax roll is where we legally have to send notices to. So I just encourage you that if someone's not getting mail there or whatever, that be updated. Thank you.
All right.
Can I make a statement before?
Yes.
Okay. I would say that if you have somebody lined up to do it this weekend, don't put them off for 30 days, okay? I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, may I have a motion for us to go into executive session since there are not any more items on the agenda?
So move.
Is there a second? Second. Make your choice. It's been motioned and second that we go into executive session. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Okay. Opposed? Motion passed. All right, thank you.
Now you can go outside for a while. Or home.
Yeah,